All right, we're going to have to take a look at that sometime during the stream. For now, off we go into the world of Pioneer with the wonderful, the beautiful blue-white control with Invasion Edition Absorbs. Thank you, Mana Traders. This is one of my favorite archetypes in all of Pioneer. I don't love it so much in Modern, but in Pioneer, I like it a lot. So this is just blue and white, some of the best controlling colors put together. We've got counter spells in the form of Censor and Dovin's Veto, Neutralize, and Absorb. We've got some Wraths in the form of Supreme Verdict. Elspeth Conquers Death is going to be one of the more important cards depending on the matchup, in that this can exile Uro, which is going to be a problematic card for us a percentage of the time for sure. And we've got the marriage of Little Teferi and Big Teferi to do the heavy lifting in terms of winning us the game, as well as newcomer Shark Typhoon. I've never played a blue-white control deck in Pioneer with Shark Typhoon yet, so I'm pretty excited about that. And 3 copies of Dig Through Time to make sure that all the one-for-oneing we do in the early game, we can sort of pull ourselves into the mid-game and just finish things off. I like this deck because it's just very clean to play. It's a control deck that is able to leverage your format knowledge pretty well, and the games that you play are kind of just very straightforward, which is sometimes kind of nice. I wonder if this or the blue-black wheel Narset deck is going to be my preference for now for a control deck in Pioneer. The Narset wheels deck definitely has the power play and has probably a very, very good matchup against some of the other control decks, but I'm not sure on having your deck clunked up with synergy pieces is always the best thing to be doing right now. So can I keep... 3-lander. Yes, I can. Grizzly Bear alignment chart. Oh, I see it. Okay. So we were against blue or mono black aggro. This hand is going to be a little bit slow. Let's see how many 2-power and 3-power creatures they can put into play on the first couple of turns. Mutavault is also a little problematic. Yep. All right. I'm interested to see what they take here. Most likely Teferi Time Raveler. Did you see a set of absorbs? You absolutely did, my friend. And I need to get Stream Decker updated to the correct list. Thank you for reminding me. There you are. This one. This is LSV's list from the last weekend's challenge, to which he piloted it to a 8th place finish or so. Takes the Teferi, yeah, not surprising there. We did top deck the Verdict. Their setup thus far is a little bit slow, so here's hoping that this, in combination with our Dig Through Time, is going to pull us through. We are most likely going to cycle this Neutralize this turn, but there's a chance that I don't. So just cracking in with these guys. Maybe we're not going to cycle the Neutralize because taking 4 damage next turn doesn't sound the worst, and we do want to be able to stop them putting something like Rankle into play and smashing us. Okay. Do I feel like I need to be more proactive than this? I just think this is one of those games where we kept a pretty slow hand on the draw and we're going to get beat up for it, but if we don't have to neutralize this turn, we can opt and cycle, and then we can Verdict on the next turn. Of course, the problem being that Bloodsoaked Champion will be able to come back off of the Mutavault swinging. There's a land that's going to give them card advantage until we find a Field of Ruin. So I was really hoping they were going to play a Rankle there or something similar. We can opt before all of this crashes in on us and see if we hit an Azorius Charm. Nope, don't need that. Sure. I will be bonked. Bonk. Play a post-combat creature. No? Alright, fine. Yeah, so Mono Black definitely has a pretty good matchup against us in game 1. Yikes. Little flooded on these guys. As I mentioned, they're going to be able to attack with their Mutavault and then immediately put the Blood-Soaked Champion back into play. We could hit a land into Big Teferi into... Oh, yikes. Hasty dude. Now, are they going both players discard? I would assume so. Each player discards. Yep. I'm going to discard one of these extra verdicts. They've got lethal next turn, so I definitely need to deal with something. This does make my dig through time reasonably cheap now. That's not the best draw, huh? Do I need to just verdict this? I think I do, because if they just attack, then all I can do is like cycle Censor and try to win that way, or try to survive that way, which seems not the best, so let's try this. Yeah, second rankle. Well, we're not dead yet. But we are about to be. Each player discards again, sure. I start Dovin's Veto, I believe. Well, I'm going to pass the turn here. If they play something before combat, we get to get them. If they attack with only Rankle, that doesn't... I wouldn't think that they would want to do that, so maybe we can sort of just bluff them into something goofy here. Maybe they put us on main deck, Settle the Wreckage, or something like that. We're paying costs. Probably just the Mutavault. Yeah. And goes to attack, and yeah. Cool. So this is already a matchup where in my personal builds of blue-white, I hedged to Settle the Wreckage in the main deck. Instead of 2 of the verdicts, and move the verdicts to the sideboard, which is what this deck's sideboard. So I basically pre-sideboarded against things like Chunky Red at the time and Mono Black. I'm not sure if that's actually the correct thing to do at all, but that is how I had it set up at the time. Do I want something like Dream Trawler? I feel like I could. In fact, I feel like I do. So Teferi Time Raveler is less than the best in this matchup. Elspeth Conquers Death, the permanents need to be converted mana cost 3 or greater, and I think largely speaking, the only thing we need to hit is Rankle, and I think we have enough ways to deal with Rankle as we are now set up. We've got Seal Away, and yeah, I think this looks pretty good. I'm not sold on Soul Guide Lantern against them, but it's definitely something. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. Let's go. Let's go and let's draw a little bit hotter here. More spicy draws. I want to feel it on my lips. Just a little numbness. All right. Yep, that's kind of exactly the kind of hand we want. Our Castle Vantress is going to come into play tapped currently, no matter what we do. So I think I'm playing that out on turn 1, because we want to keep the Censor for playing on turn 2. If they have a Thoughtseize here, they get to take their pick of our cheap interaction, or if they take my Dream Trawler, I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, so Azorius Charm we can use to put that back on top if they attack with it before doing anything else. We have to play the Plains here because all of these would come into play tapped without it, but now that we have it, we're good to go. So this is one of the better starts we can have here. And Castle Ardenvale could really pull its own weight in this matchup. I didn't mention that it's in the mana base, but we have Castle Ardenvale and Castle Vantress, and they are both quite good. I think I'm just going to take the hit here. There's a lot of 2-mana plays they could have that are much more threatening than taking a single hit off a Dread Wanderer. We can't censor this, but we will be able to throw it on top next turn. Or maybe we just cycle our Azorius Charm. I wish Pioneer wasn't standard All-Stars. It's not? I mean, there are definitely some decks in here that you could refer to as being standard All-Stars, but I would disagree with the statement that that's all that Pioneer is. I think there's a lot of neat decks that are things that didn't exist in any particular standard. So find it to be dominated by cards in the past 2 years. Yeah, but so is Modern, right? Modern is absolutely dominated by cards that were printed in the last 2 years. There are decks that are not playing those cards, but I would say, by and large, it is dominated by cards that were printed in the last 2 years. Okay, so they need to pump the Knight, yeah, if they wanted to get the Knight trigger, which means we get to do this. Yeah, even Legacy is dominated by cards that were printed in the last 2 years. I mean, Veil of Summer and Uro are just a huge deal. I don't enjoy that either. I understand that. And, like, again, to your point, I will say that Modern has the advantage of having a lot more years of cards in it, which there's a bunch of strategies that can't even be conceived of in formats like Pioneer, because there's just, like, there's no artifact aggro deck in Pioneer that isn't the Ensoul deck, whereas there were multiple ones in Modern. Now, none of them are playable right now, but, like, those are not... Those are dominated by cards that were printed in, like, Mirrodin block, which is just forever ago. And then they pick up... Pioneer will be great once there are more cards. I mean, it'll be more like Modern. But I think this historical era of Eldraine and just the last couple years of cards, this will be a sort of permanent addition to a lot of the Eternal formats. A lot of the Eternal formats will forever look different because of the cards that were printed in the last 2 years, if they're not banned. And they're not all bad. Like, Bone Crusher Giant's awesome, right? I love Bone Crusher Giant. Bone Crusher Giant's a great addition. Brazen Borrower is a great addition. There's a lot of cards that are printed in the last couple of years that are phenomenal. I love Uro, personally. I know not everyone does, but I'm just saying I love that card, and I'm happy to see that card around. I like the kind of Magic that it encourages people to play. I'm going to go to blocks here, see if they pump their Knight. They don't. All right. Let me settle your hash here, friend. Get out of here, nerds. Hopefully they don't have Thoughtseize here. All right. But, I mean, Modern was initially, I think, dominated by a lot of the sort of some of the insane eras that had happened, like Mirrodin block. So, that's just part of Magic, that there are going to be times where the cards printed are just absolutely nuts. Modern started out pretty poor. Oh, yeah. I remember when Modern came out, and I was like, this format is ridiculous, because I was a standard player at the time, like standard and limited and then casual. And I remember when Modern came out and the first couple of bans came out, and I was like, oh my god, what a poorly thought out format that they had to ban things like Ponder and Preordain, and that they had to ban things like Blazing Shoal. I thought it was just like, what? This is never going to be anything that anyone wants to do. And I was very wrong. And then when Pioneer came along and a similar sort of path was happening, I was able to look at it with a lot more sort of good faith, and I really enjoyed being part of that early era of Pioneer and the whole process of it growing into what it is now. So, being a cynical young man. Prankle. Yep, that's fine. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can make a token, also send this to the top. I don't even know if I need to make a token, because making a token blocks one of these guys for a turn. But I can also just cycle this farmland. I'm only taking 6, and I'm swinging in for 5 lifelink each turn. So I'm just going to take this because I feel like cycling the farmland, or even just scrying 2 on castle, is more valuable right now. Actually, I think scry 2 on castle right now could be more valuable, because if I cycle this on my turn, I get an extra point of damage with this extra point of, wow, this hand sucks. I mean, it's all right. Don't need that right now for sure. There we go. So this deals with Rankle, but also is going to gain me a little bit of life, which is great. So let's play this. Let's cycle this, see what we hit. Let's go. Let's hit Big Teferi. Big Teferi would be nice. That's not Big Teferi. Let's go to attack. Let's draw an extra card. Let's hit Big Teferi. Big Teferi would be nice. Let's hit Big Teferi. Fabled Passage. Okay. You know, deck, I feel like you're not listening to me, which is fine. I mean, I'm not your dad or anything like that. I just think your mother and I would really appreciate it if you would get your shit together a little bit. Oh look, it's a Rankle. Quelle surprise. I should play this deck. I think I'm missing like 8 cards. It's a good deck, man. I love this deck. Excuse me? Can I? Okay. Yeah. Magic Online likes to give me a little grief, but it's okay. I love it anyway. So do I want to upkeep Vantress? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I'll have 9 mana on my turn, so I can have 4 left over if I Vantress during the upkeep. But they just scoot. Holy crap. Magic Online just... My opponent conceded, and the game was like, yeah, that win was so good. Their draw was so poor that they... the entire client just went down. We're going back up. Yeah, I need to get a place out of Shark Typhoon right now is basically where I'm at. What is the Canadian? What is the CAD price on my new boy? It's probably like $15. I do have my Stoneforges in the mail, which is kind of great. $16 CAD. Extended art $32. I don't know what the spinning bubble there means at the bottom. Did Magic Online like crash? What does this mean? I've never seen this happen before. This is new. I don't like that. Return to game? Oh, here we go. Okay, so we're still in the match. Got it. My sideboarding was de-sideboarded as usual. But that's okay, because I think I largely remember what I did. I don't even know if I want the Soul Guide Lanterns, but I think they're probably on average better than Teferi. I know, there are 2 verdicts less. I mean, Teferi's okay. I just feel like Soul Guide's kind of important. But I guess if I'm boarding down on Wraths, it seems a little sketchy. It's like, split the difference a little bit. I know I've got like 10 seconds here. I guess this makes my dig through times a little slower. I think that's largely okay. Whatever. We don't have time to mess around on this. Alrighty. Yeah, Sand's actually pretty good. Got double Dream Trawler to try to dodge their Thought Seizes. So really this hand is all about getting to getting this 6 mana, and we have Opt to help us smooth our way out, plus Azorius Charm and Seal Away. Seal Away is one of the best early game removal spells we can have. Thoughtseize. That's perfectly fine. Ooh, so beautiful. I love that original Lorwyn art. Takes one of the Dream Trawlers. That's ideal for me. Thank you. Oh, this is even better. Thanks, opponent. Ah, you're great. So this is an interesting point. I don't know if I want to fetch blue or white, because white guarantees that no matter what lands I hit, that I will be able to verdict on time, but blue means that if I hit... no, actually, I think I just want to get white. Because... No. Yeah, I might want an island, because if I hit a white land then and an absorb, then I'll be stuck on that. So just looking through my deck, the things that I'm most likely to want earlier is blue. And the color in this deck are largely fine. So there you go. Glacial Fortress, nothing mattered. But it's always worth considering when you have a half a second. This match is going to be over with like over half an hour of game clock remaining, most likely, so. They didn't play anything on turn 2, so their hand must be loaded on like things that they're really excited to have. Okay, so that's great for me. What's up? What's up? Dovin's Veto. I think I really want more lands right now. Like that. That's a good one. Oh, yeah. So we're going to play Teferi, bounce the scrap heap. Hopefully they won't have exactly Rankle in their hand. Maybe I should have waited a half a second on this play. I'm pretty excited to do this, plus putting Teferi in my graveyard means that we get to have a cheaper dig through time next turn, get to cycle it. So yeah, hit the land there, that's great. Yeah, the worst case scenario is Rankle, but Rankle hitting Teferi doesn't trigger. So, and then we can just deal with it next turn with the Seal Away. So actually it kind of works out in the long term if they have a Rankle here. Yeah, Mutavault is what I was expecting to happen here, and this is totally fine. And if the other thing that they do is replay Scrap Heap Scrounger, this is even better. Good. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. Okay, so we've got Azorius Charm and Seal Away, so their board, such as it is kind of fully dealt with. Need a sugar daddy to buy me big Tefs. Why is it so expensive? Yo, I got 4. I got 4, baby. How expensive is it right now? When it was standard legal, it was like $50 USD. I think it was even higher than that for a small period. Okay, so do I Seal Away the Mutavault and put the Scrap Heap back on top? Yeah, that's by far the best. 25. That's not expensive, my friend. That's not expensive at all. Go check out the price on Ren and 6, and then you tell me that's expensive. I mean, the other reason Big Tef is expensive is there's only one printing, right? So that's a usual way that cards, especially mythic cards, are usually expensive, is if there's only one printing, it's like much more likely to be expensive. Murderous Rider Hardcast. You love to see it. God, that is just depressing for my opponent. Not for me though. This is great. I'm doing good. I have a set of Wrens. Yeah. Me too. And they were an arm and a leg each. It's like 75 or 80 CAD. And they went up higher too. The online ones were like 120 USD at one point. It was completely insane. All right. Do I want to absorb this? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you must have gotten in early on the Ren and 6. I think we just absorb that. Dread Wanderer. Yep. I think I just dump my Dream Trawler into play this turn. Seems like a good way to win the game. Need a blue. The other way they can beat this is that if they have some kind of edict effect. I'm assuming the mono black deck has an edict effect that they have been boarding in now, but even if they have it, and that's, again, if they have the Edict, they didn't have it there, and they've got one card left in hand. So then every turn that the Dream Trawler is in play from now on is just money, because we're going to be drawing cards. So they have the choice. If they have a removal spell in hand that they can play right now, they have a choice of use it on the Dream Trawler, make me tap it now, or use it on the Dream Trawler on my Devour Flesh. Yeah, well, I'm saying, like, they might want that technology. They just scoop it up. The more likely card for them to play is Self-Inflicted Wound, because that also beats Sylvan Caryatid out of Niv Mizzet. That was old technology. Yeah. Self-Inflicted Wound also would have made me take 2 there. Like, it's such a good insult to injury card. And then there's a white card that makes your opponent sacrifice like an attacking black or red creature and you gain 2 life, which is also from Khans. There's a very niche set of color hosers from Khans that are kind of hot. Display of Dominance. What does that card actually do? One in a green instant. Choose one. Destroy target blue or black non-creature permanent. Permanents you control can't be the target of blue or black spells your opponents control this turn. Huh. It's ass. Yeah, it's definitely not the best color hoser I've ever seen. Okay, here against Joe Beats. I don't know. Destroy target blue or black non-creature. Oh, non-creature. I thought it was, for some reason I was like non-land. Yeah, that's not great. And it's only permanents to control. You control not permanents and you, like the veil of everyone's pain. This is pretty much an ideal hand in the dark. This is like the best game 1 hand you could ever have on the draw. Like, I think maybe if you swapped out Dovin's Veto for like Teferi Time Raveler to hedge against things like some of the control decks, then that would be like maybe slightly better, but also doesn't help against counter magic. Yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't do that, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of the... Hello. I'm hoping this is Niv Mizzet, and I'm hoping that they play a turn 3 Teferi into my Censor or my Veto. Because the thing is, so if they have a Caryatid on turn 2 or a Deathray Shaman, we also might be against. Well, it's not punished. I was just saying, like, there's one way. There's one thing I could have conceived of that would have made my hand better. Oh, this is Fires. Okay, hand is good against Fires too. Teferi's not great against Fires, but the rest of this hand is good against Fires. And they took a mulligan, which feels good. Birth is a 2-for-1, so their mulligan is not, you know, but that is fine. Is there a de facto Fires deck? Yeah, it's Jeskai. Jeskai Fires. It's 80 cards, got Urian hanging out over here. Yeah, there's a de facto Fires deck. I played it on stream. Aspiring Spike. I beat Aspiring Spike in the first round of that league, and he was on his version of Fires with Karn. But that matchup is really stupid. That matchup is just you're just, you know, flailing away at each other and just hoping that you draw. Like, being on the play is insane in that matchup. Like the Luca pile. Yeah. That's the de facto Fires Invention deck. That is Jeskai Fires. I mean, people call it like Jeskai, Urian, Luca Fires, or when it was in standard, like there was a really, really gratuitous, overly written name for it. But that's that deck. And our deck here should be a very good matchup against it. We just have a lot of counter spells. Yeah, so like this is pretty easy. I'm gonna use Absorb because they don't play any creatures other than Urian. We also have an extra Absorb anyway. I need to find some effing Agent of Treacheries. Oh, MFing. Yeah. We are a 25 land deck. I was just sitting here going like, I hope we hit, and we did. And we have stuff to do even if they don't play spells, so that's kind of great. The thing is, they are playing 4 Teferi Time Raveler, so we have to be a little bit careful, but that's in their 80-card deck. But we got to keep the Dovin Veto for that. The thing is, as long as we keep the fires off the table, they can't they can't realistically double spell anytime soon. So, I suppose I could let a fires resolve if they had fewer cards in their hand. But while they have 5 cards in their hand, the problem isn't that the fires is going to resolve this turn. The problem will be the next turn, because them resolving fires is obviously like a 0. Like it doesn't actually give them anything. Narset. Yeah, I don't want that. I think we're gonna absorb again. Yeah, because if I hit on a land, we'll be able to play little Teferi, bounce their wall, draw a card, and then still have Veto up. I do want to cycle this Azorius Charm ASAP, but if I Veto this turn, I don't have the Veto for the next turn, so it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen the other in terms of the sequencing here. I suppose I shouldn't have sacked that because I just reduced my land density. But we hit anyway, because never punished. Teferi. What do you mean I'm making this up as I go along? I don't know all the voice lines of Teferi from Arena. I remember some of them. Luca? Don't think so. Get the f out of here. Alright, down to 2 cards in hand on their side. That makes me pretty happy. Especially because, yeah, we may have to play Big Teferi and pray here. Yeah, I just don't have anything else to do. Got the borderless Lucas. Nice. Counterspell. Yeah, I mean, not the best, but I'll take it. And I believe we're only playing the 1 main deck Veto. So we burned through 2 Absorbs, our Veto, and a Censor that we cycled earlier. So I'm really looking for a dig through time to close out this game. If they hit one of their big threats right now, we could be in trouble. And that is the appeal of their deck, is that they're just like all big threats. We have Elspeth Conquers Death. We have 2 more Absorbs. Yeah, that's mostly it. So this is one of the least threatening planeswalkers they could play here for a number of reasons. So this is totally fine. So they make a guy, make a little duder. They leave their mana open. I'm assuming that is a cycle land in their hand, one of the triomes that they want to cycle, so that's fine. Yikes, that's a little less than great. Still less than great. All right, draw, step, stop. What up? They don't play a lot of instants. I have everything for the fires deck but agents. I have a lot of the stuff, but I don't have all of the stuff. So let's plus Teferi, see what we draw. Counter, please. Verdict. Oh, I have instant speed verdicts, but this has indestructible when it's a creature, so that doesn't really matter. But if they Luca, then we get to beat them up on that. All right, so basically the question I have right now is, do I want to poop out a 1/1 with my Castle Ardenvale? It costs me 4, then I get to untap 2 lands, so I have 4 left. Or it costs me 5. 1, 2. Yeah, I'll have 5. I think that's reasonable for now. Yeah. Boink. It's Belle. The sun is shining and the grass is green under the 3 feet of snow. I mean, hold on. That's not the song that Belle sings. Ketria Triome. They have green in their deck, or are they just playing extra cycling lands? That's curiouser and curiouser. Okay, so if they see the line here, they can animate their Gideon and then Luca the Gideon. But if they just go for this, I can Verdict. Now, they can boot up their Gideon to attack and kill one of my Teferis. Probably the little one. I think I'll take it. We will need to find out for Luca here. I suppose I can use Teferi to tuck it. So, fizzle that. We'll see what they do from here. They might just make a token with Gideon. They might kill my Teferi. We'll see. I suppose if they make a token with Gideon, they're just giving me the chance to draw a card. So they should boot up Gideon and attack down Teferi. The little Teferi. If I were them, that's what I would do. And then next turn, they're going to make a token and then shoot it with Luca. So we have to find an out for that of some form or fashion. Azorius Charm is not great. Another Verdict. Okay. So again, we could... No, we don't have the little Teferi anymore to make this have make this an instant. Yeah, this is scary. This looks like there is an Agent of Treachery in my future. Unless I can pick up something with Azorius Charm or cycling Shark Typhoon. So maybe I should have just tucked their Luca here. In fact, that's almost definitely what I should have done. So maybe I took the risky sort of high risk, high reward line, which was not worth doing in this situation. All right. What am I trying to draw? I guess that's the question I should have for myself, because a lot of these cards don't do what I need them to do. I guess Elspeth conquers death. Little Teferi doesn't do it. Brazen Borrower does do it. So I do want to cycle this Shark Typhoon and put like a 2/2 Shark into play. But once I lose this Teferi to their side of the battlefield, I think I'm dead. So maybe I just screwed up here by too much. I think I can go... No, I can only do... Yeah. No, because then I play Little Teferi, but Little Teferi doesn't help me enough. So, what am I doing here? What am I looking for? I'm looking for Brazen Borrower, which I can currently play. I can't play an Elspeth Conquers Death. So there's very few outs left. Let's make a 4/4 Shark, I guess, and just see what we pick up. Maybe we feel punished, maybe we don't. Bonk. Alright, so... Yeah, that really doesn't matter too much. Yeah, so they're going to get an Agent of Treachery here, and that's going to be very problematic. Because they're going to steal my Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and plus it to 8. Or do something worse with it. Yeah, I think I punted this game on that turn right there by not tucking the Luca and then outplaying the Gideon. It would have given me a lot more time to find other answers. Live and learn, I suppose. First time I've played this matchup, so... Right. Targets this? Yeah, alright. We're good. We'll go game 2. So that's on me. I think we should be able to take game 2 and 3 post-board. I just goofed on that one turn, but this is why we play leagues, this is why we record leagues, and this is why I want to continue to try to become a better Magic the Gathering player. So I think we want Narset. Definitely want more Dovin's Vetoes. Yeah. I don't think I want Aether Gust. Maybe I want Aether Gust. Oh, Mystical Dispute for sure. And then, yeah, probably Aether Gust. And Whirlwind Denial is, in theory, something I want. I don't really want Supreme Verdicts at all. Fires is the new Tron. Yeah, kind of. I can definitely see the comparison there. Our Teferis are not great, but I think I might keep one. Censor is also pretty medium, so I've got 8 cards I want to bring in, I think. 2 Censor. Oh, and Azorius Charm is also not great. Azorius Charm might actually be even worse than Censor. There's two mana to cycle it. Are there more? Do I want Dream Trawler here? I guess it ends the game pretty quickly. But I don't know. I think we're just going Teferi or Elspeth Conquers Death or Shark Typhoon to end. Dream Trawler is just going to die to their wraths, I assume. They might board most or all of them out, but I also don't think that tapping down 6 mana is going to be something I'm going to be wanting to do most of the game. So let's try it this way. Just on intuition, Dream Trawler feels like not the right card to have here. The Sphinx. And worth noting that we lost with what I thought was a pretty perfect hand last game. So Jeskai Luka is definitely able to beat up on control decks when they have the right sequence of things. I mean, again, I did goof, but we drew most of our main deck counters when we needed them. This hand is currently soft to them playing Teferi Time Raveler, so I really would not like to see that in the early game. Elspeth Conquers Death is not really the way I want to interact with them. I'd rather stop most of their planeswalkers before they can hit the battlefield. Okay. Get to cycle Azorius Charm, digging for a meaningful counter. We did keep all our sensors. Yep, that's fine. Birth of Melitus. Uh-oh. Problematic. Alright. Put Field of Ruin into play. I guess this tells them that I don't have Absorb, but we know that they have a Plains in their hand because they got it with the Birth. So I really don't actually have anything to do if they play a Teferi, so we're just going to have to field their Castle Vantress and pray that they don't have the perfect sequence here. If they have double Time Raveler in hand, we're in big trouble. Yeah, we're already in big trouble. Whoa. So the first turn I can deal with this is on my turn 5. If they have fires into something, and then we'll be able to get rid of their Teferi, but we won't be able to do anything about the fires at that point. So here's hoping. Yeah, I think we're just going to get wrecked out of this one. But let's see. Let's draw the good stuff. Bang. It's going to be a counterspell now. That's almost bad enough. Let's draw a card with this. I can cycle this right now. So hopefully they don't have the nuts. They kept their 7, so maybe they just kept it on the back of Teferi. That means no fires. That's good. They can't play Narset. Great. This is actually about as good as this could have gone for us. The downside being, of course, if I Elspeth Conquers Death or Teferi, and then next turn they just play a Luca and eat their walls, eat one of their walls. Agent of Treachery, one of my lands, or my Elspeth Conquers Death. So, yeah. Okay, well them plussing the Teferi again is not the worst. Man, yeah. Little Teferi just give me the business here, but this is the best we can do, so let's do it. Okay. Don't have the nuts. Don't have the nuts. Don't do it. Have a heart. Yep. Alright, what are you taking? Elspeth Conquers Death? Because it's actually not that bad. If they take the Elspeth Conquers Death, I'm not really that upset. I'm actually I think I'm a lot worse off if they take one of my lands. Shit. Okay. So, play Fortress. I can Teferi to bounce their wall. Agent cannot become another agent. Basically leaves their Lucas stranded for the moment. They can attack down my Teferi. I still have Aether Gust for their... yeah. It's probably about as good as it gets. I mean, I could obviously bounce my Elspeth Conquers Death, but if I have a way to kill Agent of Treachery or put an Agent of Treachery into their graveyard, that'd be great. Also, depending on what they play on their turn, I might be able to kill that and... So it's like a bounce. No, I can't bounce the agent. I have to bounce the wall on this line. Okay. I've done my best, opponent. You do have to spend 2 more mana on any non-creature spell they want to play this turn, which is going to make a lot of their stuff take about all their mana, so Mystical Dispute should be pretty live here. What do you got, nerd? Now this is insane, because now my Elspeth Conquers Death is going to get one of their agents. So I can get my land back. That's kind of awesome. That really worked out. Goodness gracious. And even if we had had a Censor there, we would have been able to do that. That's great. We might have just stolen this one. And they didn't even attack down my Teferi. I wonder why. Alright. I'm happy to have lands here. I'm happy to have Absorb here. I am happy to have Absorb here. Not thrilled, but happy. Draw. Trigger. What? No. What? Oh, from your graveyard. Never mind. I thought it was everyone's. I'm a goon. Alright. So... pass the turn. I don't know why I thought that. Oh, that's the reason they didn't attack down my Teferi. That makes sense. I'm not gonna say I've never played with this card, but I've never, or I haven't played with this card too often, so not surprised that I goofed that. I am not smart. SMRT. They are out of Agent of Treacheries in their deck, though, which is great. I don't... Narset. I'd rather you didn't. So we can still play Dig Through Time here or Aether Gust. I don't really want to have to Aether Gust, but if they play a token generator, we're going to have to Gust the Luca. Actually, do we? They have no more agents left. Their Lucas are all dead. Huh. Play plus their Luca. Do they have creatures in their deck? Not in those. Not in those cards. Goes end step. Okay, this is pretty good. Although they might counter my dig through time. That would suck, but I don't really think I'm in the place to play around that. Hold on. I just exiled Teferi, and I have another Elspeth Conqueror's Death in my deck, so I really don't want to do that. There we go. Dig. Do you have Mystical Dispute or otherwise? They do not. Good. Narset seems alright. She's not a way to deal with the agent, though. Narset and Censor? Narset and a land? Narset and Censor, probably. Narset and a land means I can play Narset plus have Absorb, though. Castle Ardenvale is definitely something I'm going to want in the near future, so let's take that. Agent of Treachery is just going to be moping around on the battlefield for a while. They do have Urian, which they did not put in their hand there, which is sort of interesting to... Ooh, okay. Did not have a Plains in play. That's okay. We'll just pass the turn here. We've got shields up, weapons online, so should be good to go. I wonder if they have a creature in their deck. I don't think so, so I don't really know what they're plussing their Luca for. Cycle Shark Typhoon. Very well. I mean, I think I'm just going to gamble that they don't have more creatures in their deck and just let them minus on the shark if they want. I don't think that they do. They probably, I think, as far as I know, they just play 2 Agent of Treacheries. If there's a 3rd Agent of Treachery in their deck list, I'm going to get got, but that's fine by me. This is definitely a situation where I think I might have overboarded in terms of taking out my verdicts. No creatures. Okay. Vantress. I'd be happy to draw land into Shark Typhoon. That seems ideal. Top. So I can't crack this Fabled Passage with the Shark Typhoon and still have it on top. I could play Narset, pick up the Typhoon, but I think I just want to naturally pick up the Typhoon next turn, make a big Shark to block. We can make a 3/3 without going shields down, Omen of the Sea. Sure. Does give them a lot of selection here, but I think that's okay. They sacked a Scry immediately. I have not seen that play before, but I think that's probably smart. They went bottom. So definitely a good choice for them. And then top, they draw one. Okay. Well, we have Veto and Absorb here, so we should be okay. Sure. I suppose they could eventually get to a point where they'd be comfortable to ult it. Still no creatures. I don't think they have more creatures in their deck. I think this is just a want for something to do. Yeah, it's Urian, sure. Does not play Urian. So now I know they have a Urian in their hand, so I have to start dealing with leaving 3 mana open, which means the Shark Typhoon is not the best thing ever, which means I think I'm playing Narset this turn as a sort of look at distraction play. It's just like a 3 mana impulse here. We have Veto and Aether Gust if we need it. I'm going to have to use Absorb on the Urian, though. Maybe this was an unwise choice. I'm sure we'll find out pretty quickly. Opt. Yikes. Opted Aether Gust. I don't know if Aether Gust was a good board in here. I mean, I suppose if they ever hit another fires, but... No, 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 no. Not more sharks. Please, no. Okay, good. Just a 1/1. Got it. Fine. No problem. Yep. They hit a creature yet? Nope. Just more time Ravelers. They've exiled almost all of their Teferis. Attacking me. Attacking Narset. Attacking me. Alright. I'm going to take the damage. Narset's going to die. This is fine. Phone died a bit ago. No worries, friend. Happy to have anyone who wants to come along for the ride with us here. We're in a bit of a tough spot, but I think we're going to be okay. But maybe not. It's a good time. Good. Here for a long time. Wait. Here for a good time. Not a long time. This is game 2. This is game 2. Absorb. Wait. These things. Get out of here. Also, please don't have a sick follow-up. If you have a sick follow-up, I may be dead. No, 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 no. This is, yeah, this is scoop territory because I don't have any verdicts. Yeah, I just didn't think the game could go to this point. We didn't find a Teferi hero of Dominaria in the earlier part of this game where it would have been super relevant, and this agent is just gonna finish beating us to death because they've got still one of our lands. So made some misplays in game 1 that got us got, and then possibly misboarded in game 2, or maybe the boarding was fine. We just needed to draw a little better. There's definitely some aspects to playing against that deck that I didn't understand from the control side of things. So I think that matchup is fine, but you just need to know it better. I think the first game was a very narrow goof. I think the matchup is tough for me? I don't think so. When I was playing the Luca deck, it felt like almost anything that was playing counter spells was going to be a problem. No, I know they go bigger, but like it's just so hard for them to stick stuff. Like I think if I had played game 1 properly, it would have been fine. This is a great hand in the dark. And I feel like I was in the driver's seat for a lot of game 2, but we just didn't hit Hero of Dominaria. Like, even when I dug through time, there was no Teferi. And it was like, oh, well, can't win the game without a win condition. Which is, like, obviously a flaw of the deck, is that it's very light on like, win conditions. Like, that game was an example where I think I should have known that I think boarding in Dream Trawler was probably better than I thought it was, because Dream Trawler, like, they're going to board out all their Wraths. I think that they did, like I did, but Dream Trawler can dodge all of their Planeswalkers trying to kill it, and draws an extra card per turn, and has, whatever my opponent's playing, which I assume is Blue-Green Reclamation, they do not have a good hand going on, because they felt forced to cycle Shark Typhoon for 0 value. Not playing mono blue, are you? Well, we're going to cycle this bad boy. But I'm not going to play Teferi into all their open mana. Once we hit some kind of counter magic we can play, I'll play out my Teferi, but as the only thing that my hand has going for it, yikes. Opponent is a human being after my heart. Appears to be playing mono blue, but not tempo. Okay. Oh, my Shark Typhoon's going to be very impressive, I assume. Ha. They have blinked. Oh, nope, they didn't. Okay. I think I want to go bigger with this Typhoon. Nah, it's good value to cycle it now. Damn it. Just happy to draw the card right now. Paying costs. What are you? What do you have? Mono blue cards. Yep. Okay. Seems like this might be terrible in this matchup, but we'll find out. Stifle Bird, let's go. Yes, I could have been. Dig through that's yep. Well, I mean, if I wanted an opening for Teferi, I'd done found it. They have a Blast Zone, but that's going to take them a minute, and it costs them a land, so I'm very much willing to take that trade. If they play anything to go over the top of Teferi, we've got the Elspeth Conquers Death to come in right after. Against mono blue / blue green, I'm assuming this is blue green with just the most god awful draw. I'm just going to minus and draw the card right away. I'm not really concerned about them playing most things that they could play here. We have, yeah, it's blue green. We have Brazen Borrower, yep, and we have Elspeth Conquers Death. So if there is a Wilderness Wreck this turn, it's just going to get bounced. Jeez. They, wow, and they're just peeling nonstop green sources now. They're going to play Uro, ramp into another green source, and we might be in trouble in this matchup. We did resolve our Teferi. Oh, my God. If there's another green source on top. Yeah, Censor's... Yep, Censor's absolute garbage now. But that's fine. We're going to have the Dovin's Vetoes in the sideboard. Yeah, this was... That's a turn. And I'm over here with my Bladeless Shark. They did put a card on top there, so I guess let's go ahead and make them shuffle. Sorry, we're going to kill their Blast Zone. In that it is relevant. Make them shuffle. Pretty sure dig through time for double green source. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's possible. In fact, that's probably likely, right? Sorry, they played the dig through time at the end of their turn. So for whatever reason, I was like, I just like blanked it from my memory that any of that could have been associated with the dig through time. Okay, well, we have Elspeth Conquers Death for this, so while it sucks, as I said in the deck talk, that this is what we're doing about this card. So Uro is definitely problematic, but we do have an out. So let's just hope that it works out. I think they're playing it here. Are they not playing it? I don't know what's happening. Are they playing Wilderness Reclamation instead? Either. Friendo? Okay. I don't think you understand what's happening. For anyone who's not aware, this is not going to work. That does not do anything. I mean, I guess they just wanted their 6/6 or 5/6. Sorry. To that end, do I just put my Brazen Borrower into play? I feel like I do. Suppose I could bounce it, get the 6. I probably should have bounced their Gear Hulk here because it's not going to give them any value while Teferi's in play, and they have no way to take it off the battlefield. And then immediately. Well, yeah, that was unfortunate. I really want to save the Elspeth Conquers Death for the. I really want to save the Elspeth Conquers Death for the Uro, and playing this Verdict here is like really poor. I wish I would stop flooding so colossally. That would be nice. So this is the Uro. Night Pack Ambusher in the main deck. Sure. Wow, this version of the deck is very creature heavy. Okay, so the Verdict just got a hell of a lot better. Is this the Uro? Sublime Epiphany. Why can I not see what modes? That doesn't. This is not. I don't think that's how that should work. Okay, whatever. So they cloned their Gearhulk, they drew a card, and for whatever reason, I can't see what else they're doing. But that's fine. They bounced my Teferi. God damn it. Okay. Well, good thing we have this. Oh my god. But they get the dig through time. Ugh. Brutal. So yeah, I definitely screwed up in a bunch of different ways. Playing the Brazen Borrower was a huge mistake. Yeah. Wild. You want to know a deck that's going bigger than me? That deck's going bigger than me. But we might be able to take this as the scrappy little deck. So play little Teferi. Plus. Verdict here is amazing. Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. Bonk. I mean, they did get to resolve a dig through time, so, like, I'm not exactly sure. Doesn't help me as 5 cards. I'm aware, yeah. I mean, we're gonna be okay against it, but they go to combat, sure. So good for them for not casting Uro pre-combat. Supreme Verdict. Alright. That's all I got. Which again makes me think I should have minus my Teferi and I should have done it to bounce my own Brazen Borrower. So again, I don't know, I'm just slopping all over the place here and I'm not sure why. I feel like I played that game against Mono Black really well and I'm just showing off my constant, thank you, my constant inability to assess new matchups well, which I think is one of the things that makes the people who are the best at this game truly like in a league of their own, is that the people who can come into matchups that they've never played before. And sometimes I'm good against like combo decks like doing that, but this is I think I would think of one of those things where this is the kind of matchup where it's like you really would think that I would be able to do better in the dark with this than otherwise. Maybe I'm being hard on myself, I don't know. However, it does look like they kind of fizzled off there. They will be able to crank this by... I really should have minus my Teferi. There is a goddamn Blast Zone in play, and I already played my land for the turn, so I can't opt or dig through time for... Okay, so let's opt and dig through time now. I need to find Big Teferi or something similar. Backup Teferi is good. Big Teferi. There we go. And we can play a Neutralize afterwards. Good, good. Where's my thing?
Work.
Yeah, so they cranked to 3. Yep. So I screwed up with my little Teferi twice here. I'm really annoyed about that, but it's alright. Reclamation? No, it's Uro. Uro is fine. I've got the ad for Uro. Another Blast Zone. Their Blast Zone heavy portfolio definitely working out in Modern right now. Bang. Neutralize. Cool. Big downside, this costs 5, and this costs 5. But they won't be able to stop my Elspeth Conqueror's Death before it's relevant, so I think we'll be okay. Do get to untap 2 lands here. How many absorbs have I played? Literally 0? Okay, so if I need to try to opt into an absorb, I have a 2 in 29 chance, which doesn't feel too bad. That's fine. That doesn't do anything on its own. I mean, it's going to make a super gigantic shark, but super massive shark. Oh no. Oh, yeah. Yep. That's on me again. God damn it. When I play that deck, I understand that I can make that play, and somehow playing against that deck, I'm just like, nah, that's not a thing they can do at all. What are you talking about? Nonsense. As absolute and utter nonsense. Bottom. Is the absorb there? Veto was there. So we could have done the thing. It's fine. We're going to have a Teferi again, and life's going to be great. We can never beat the Castle Vantress Wilderness Reclamation. But we can bounce the Reclamation and counter it next turn, hopefully. Let's go absorb. Wait, isn't Veto better? No, I don't think it really matters. Cool. Now they can't play counter magic, so... Oh, no, the Vantress? It's just Vantress. Oh, that's what I thought. Blast Zone is gone. I think that's got to be all their Blast Zones, right? Yeah, that's 3. I don't think they play 4. Maybe they do, but I don't think so. Boing. Yeah, we're gonna be able to cycle that, so that's good. Okay, just have to dodge. I don't know, more insanity. How many Gear Hulks are they through? Just one. They have the Wilderness Wreck. I think I have to veto this. So if they have Gear Hulk in hand right now, it's gonna be problematic, but second wreck? No, Uro, that's fine. Uro, I can have time to deal with. I mean, I'm not thrilled about it because it gives them a bunch of value, but I think we're all right. Work is exhausting. I know that feel, brother. But I have a coworker who I just met yesterday, and I'm working with her all weekend, and she is awesome. We just communicate really cleanly, which is like a huge upgrade for me versus some of the other people that I was working with. I'm a sad and hot bear. Don't be sad. We're playing blue-white, no win condition control. You get to bitch and moan at me about my clock and the fact that I don't have one. So this is a really good draw. It's wonderful. I agree. Well, I will say this is one of the reasons that that my versions of blue-white when I played them were always cute, because I would always play like a one of Settle the Wreckage and a one of like Torrential Gear Hulk when that was like not a thing that people were doing, because I just liked having a little more clock and just some like awkward angles to attack people that they weren't ready for. Sorry, Settle the Wastes. Settle the Waste. Or Secure the Waste? Secure the Wastes. We don't have to do that anymore because we have Shark Typhoon, which is infinitely better than Secure the Wastes, but... Okay, so I have my Teferi effect in play, so let's just go ahead and Verdict. Boing. I guess slam. Just replay the arrow. Yep, that's fine. So this is like the #1 matchup where the Narset in the sideboard is going to come in. They shock. That's a little terrifying. What if we didn't? I'm going to assume some of the other cards in their hand are counterspells. So here's hoping we sort of get away with this. I'm probably going to have to tuck this Uro, which means I really hope to draw some action here. Don't be another wreck. It's going to be Gear Hulk. Oh, God. God, that's so good. Why can't I see what modes they're picking, though? This is really... That's really tilting. So, they get a second Uro, which means they get to draw 2 cards off their Sublime Epiphany, which is kind of great. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. They are close to being like literally out of win conditions. Dead. Yeah, okay. Thank you, deck. Now my deck's coming through for me. It was like, all right. Against Luca Fires, all right, we shat the bed a little bit. I get it. I admit it. You know, I should have tapped the field somewhere along the way. Because if I dig into a Absorb, I won't be able to play it. And I've already used my, what is it? Dispel D card. Yeah, we could be in a much better place if I had played the earlier part of this game better, but what is this? Gear Hulk? Yeah, that's gonna resolve. Yeah, they can't cast it because I still have Teferi in play. Night Pack, sure. So we're just gonna dig through to a verdict here. I think we have more. So this should be concession, dig through time. Verdict. And another dig through time or Shark Typhoon. Or Absorb. I already have Elspeth Conquers Death and a Teferi in play. So let's get Absorb. Or maybe another dig through time. Let's get Absorb. So we'll any order those, but we'll also field here so I can shuffle the dig back into my deck. Maybe pick it up again quicker. I'm also going to try to be clock conscious because this matchup is going to go long even through the next couple games. Sure. Let's draw a card. Land. I should play the Ardenvale because I could have made 2 tokens this turn and started winning. Yeah, definitely want to... Well, I guess I don't have to verdict right now anyway, but it's fine. Maybe could have minus Teferi to... yeah, I'm just goofing all over the place. God, why am I so sloppy today? I'm just trying to be clock conscious and just punting because of it. So what we should have done there is played the Castle Ardenvale, made 2 tokens. Because Castle Ardenvale plus Teferi actually does put a reasonably fast clock into play. I mean, I say fast. It's fast for this deck, which is still glacially slow compared to almost anything else, but it's something. All right. Oh, yeah. Fast enough. Exactly. It's as fast as the deck needs it to be, right? I guess is the... That's a clock right there. Plus and draw. Plus... Yield. All right. Got 5 power, though. Again, I'm pretty sure they're out of Uros if they're playing Spike's stock list, which they're definitely not because they've got main deck Night Pack Ambushers. It's Surprised Oakley hasn't played a Lumbering Falls. Seems great in his deck. How do you figure? Because I think the idea is that they don't need to play anything that's small ball. And I would consider Lumbering Falls a bit smaller than what that deck is trying to do. Shark for 7. Yeah, that's fine. I have a chump blocker. And then Teferi's just going to bounce it. Okay. Some number of manlands is worth it. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but they're already playing 4 temples. Like, they'd have to go out a temple to have that, and I think they probably do not think that that's worthwhile. Dig. I feel like I should counter this, but I also feel like there's so few relevant things left in their deck. I just want to counter the actual threats that they try to find. So if I counter that, I don't have a counter for next turn where they just top deck the threat. Currently, my Teferi Time Raveler is going to bounce their Shark. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to draw a card off of Hero of Dominaria, which is going to emblem next turn. So, like, we're basically there. We just need to pull through the last couple turns here and make sure that they don't land any gargantuan threat. Sublime Epiphany. Yeah, this is more threatening. Yeah, because that's going to make another Shark. Boop. Cool. Make a human. There we go. That's my win right there. They're Castle Ardenvale, or Castle Vantressing in response. This is such a weird choice, like, because I feel like my opponent is playing pretty well, and they should just yield till end step. Like, there's no, I don't think that there was, like, because there's a, and maybe they don't trust or want to use the yield until next end step button. Like, I guess I could understand that, but I don't know. Having slightly more information on what I had done in my turn before they took their scry 2 is probably better, or it is better, but it's also probably so marginal it doesn't matter. In terms of conserving clock, maybe they're more interested in that. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana. So I get an 11/11 Shark. So this game is over very, very short order. Unless they also have a Shark, because theirs might be bigger. Which means I really want to save my Teferi. Well, actually, I don't need to. I'm just going to emblem it. Oh, perfect. So let's emblem my Teferi, and then if they play a Shark, we get to opt and just exile it. So my opponent's just playing for clock here, so we're just going to try to kill him as quick as we can. Sure. I don't know what you could be doing with this, friend. I don't think they could possibly beat this. Their deck doesn't win through, like, I don't know, anything like anything on a weird angle. Let's just get rid of their Vantress. Cycle. They're just gonna deck themselves at this point. I could make another human token here, but it doesn't change the clock at all, so I'm not going to bother. It's just not worth the time. I don't have a counter here, but I don't think it matters. I also have no idea what they're digging for, because I don't think they can resolve anything relevant with the Time Raveler in play. So their hedge against whatever that they have the main deck wolves for definitely did not work against blue-white control. Okay, going to sideboarding here. I will be back in 2 seconds, and we will continue onwards into game number 2. All right. So against Wilderness Wreck, we definitely want to board a little down on things like Wrath, I think, but we got to be careful about how much we board into what. Mystical Dispute is definitely good. I think this is a less number of opt kind of matchup. And also Censor is probably really bad. But again, their deck does have the ability to sort of squeeze us because they have both creature and non-creature threats, and not all of our spells work perfectly against them. Azorius Charm. Okay, that's like the worst card in this matchup. There we go. That's way better. Good. I don't think I want Aether Gust here. Do I think 3 verdicts is good enough? It's really important to have it when I need it, but I also think they might give me the room to find it when I need it. So, and we've got 3 dig through times in theory. All right, let's try that. Yeah, that's good enough. Having Teferi to threaten them is most of what we need to be doing. I wouldn't turn down a Dovin's Veto or a Censor off the top or off my opt, because if they have turn 2 Growth Spiral into 4 mana threat, that's one of the things we're looking to avoid. Yeah, I was supposed to opt there. Okay, no Growth Spiral is great. Most of their 3 mana plays are not impressive. No, I don't need that right now. That's good though. Counter. That's not a counter. All right. Do I start jamming my good cards? I feel like I should. Because then I'm putting the pressure on them to have the counters. If they have Wilderness Wreck next turn, though, I have the counter for that. If they make a 1/1 Shark right now, how annoyed am I? Not really. Well, so if they have Wilderness Wreck next turn, Teferi is obviously fine. I think we'll pass though. So we're gonna default to the old control standard. We're just gonna stare at each other dead in the eye until one of us misses a land drop, and that will be likely the moment where the action begins. Just trying to have a mana advantage. That is not my favorite. This is real good though. That almost makes you want to just jam Teferi here. Because I know I'm going to miss my land drop next turn, so let's go for it. If it resolves, it's very close to game. I guess they could play the wolf here. That would get me good. No, they wouldn't. I would just bounce it. Never mind. This card is so stupid. Please play. Yeah, that's okay. Well, very well. Your go. If they play Wilderness Wreck here, I don't care because they can't use the mana at their end step other than on Shark Typhoon for 2, which is fine. Plays the night pack. I guess this makes sense. So we'll go shock this, plus this Teferi, play the other Teferi, tuck the night pack. I feel like that's really close to game. Because they also missed their land drop, which means they can't Gear Hulk me or Sublime Epiphany me here or anything. So we just keep adding to the board with terrifying threats right now. Uro? Night Pack. Sure. Now is where I'm going to play the second Teferi and just get him that way. Which is... Second Teferi and Narset, I guess. So do that. Yeah, I don't... I guess I could cycle Shark Typhoon, make a 4/4 block, or... Could cycle Shark Typhoon, make a 4/4, and then still have counter magic up on their turn. I don't know what they could play that would get my Shark out of the way. Is this greedy? Because they could just go end of turn, make a wolf. All right, yeah, let's burn it to Teferi here and just draw an extra card. Feels good. I think this is where I want to be. And then we also get to play Narset, and this should kind of be lights out, I think. Soul Guide Lantern, yes please, because I already have a Dovin's Veto. There we go. Play the wolf again? Sure. Have anything to do at end of turn? No. I could play Shark Typhoon and then have opt or veto for next turn. Seems pretty good. Let's do that. Oh, no, that's not what I want. So, play Shark Typhoon. I have 7 cards in hand, so I really don't want to use my Narset here. You know, untap, yes. I have 8 cards in hand? Alright, well this is, yeah. This is just excessive. We're going to discard one of my absorbs, I guess. Just completely spoiled for choice. If they attack, we play opt, make a 1/1 blocker, chump, and then we have Mystical Dispute for a lot of things they could play. Most of them are not relevant. Make a dude. Boink. Yeah, sure. That's great. I actually do want this right now. There we go. Sorry, there was a small visual glitch that I thought might be that my creature was not correctly assigned as a blocker. All right, get your guy. Your Wolfly. Make another token. Sure. So I plus my 1 Teferi. So let's play the second Teferi, get a 5/5 for it. And then we're gonna still untap 4 lands now. Still gonna have to discard. Oh shit. Newly controlled. Not newly controlled. So choose one to keep. Keep the new one. Good. Okay, perfect. And now I've got a 5/5 shark. This game's great. This, my friend Speeb, this is why Teferi Hero Dominaria is potentially a little bit expensive right now. It's a really, really, really good card in this format, and it's a mythic with 1 printing ever, so. Doesn't even attack, that's fair. Get your dude. I'll cycle the farmland, because I think I'll find more. Neutralize. Cycle the neutralize, yeah. Just looking through for a dig through time, really. That will basically end the game on the spot. So, attack for 5. Shoot. That's fine. They respond. Good. You saved me from myself, opponent. Gotta get that mana value. All of it. So we'll discard Island here. Alright. Alright. Night pack. Absorb. Here's my 3/3. Opponent will not go to combat. They do, or at least they're trying to. It's almost entirely on castle. Sure. Any order. Let's go. Block. Gross Spiral. Sure. Bonk. Yeah, no kidding. Could not beat the Planeswalker Prison. Teferi Teferi Time Raveler is just a mean card against these kind of flash decks. And the game 1 was a demonstration even of Teferi accidentally turning off things like Torrential Gearhulk. That is not what Teferi is intended to do, but alright, can't keep that one. It's Blue Duck 70. This one I can't keep. Let's keep this. Let's ship the dig through time and hope that this hand is reasonable against whatever I've run up against here. So we played against Mono Black, we played against Jeskai Fires, and we played against ooh, classy. Played against Blue-Green Wilderness Wreck. So, are we now in the mirror match? Or is this some kind of other wacky white deck? It's Bant something. Maybe this is a Canister deck. Canister was playing a Bant Uro deck the other day with Teferis and such. Basically our deck, but with green. Sure. Are we about to get into a Teferi slap fight? Today's breeding pool. Yes, we are. Okay. Opt. I have a Castle Ardenvale in play, and that is one of the best cards I could have quickly after this is happening. So, while this is bad, yeah, they minus. They know what this matchup's about, and it's not about having the card ready to bounce anything. Nobody plays instants, all right? Now, if they have Uro, it is going to be potentially unfortunate. But on the flip side, they're not going to be able to escape Uro anytime soon. Ooh. Hand is clunked up with Teferis. I do not mind seeing that. Dig is great. 2/2 Shark is going to be exactly the right size to kill this. So if they had kept their previous Teferi, a 2/2 Shark would not have been functional to kill it. But because they played a new Teferi, the new Coke, it'll be around forever. Don't play Big Teferi, please. Good. My opponent does have excellent choice in lands. So 4 mana. Wilderness Wreck? Oh, Dig Through Time. Yeah, sure. I'm going to take their Teferi off the board this turn, so that's insanity. That is going to be probably the entire course of this game right here. So Dig Through Time is great, but not as good as a Shark. And more importantly, not as good as sticking your Teferi. Done. Whee! No. No. Dun 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 dun. Bonk. Alright, got him. Now I can start cycling my stuff, and then we can get through our Dig through time, and then maybe we win this. Let's see. Please play Wilderness Reclamation. I'm really hoping this is a Bant Reclamation deck. Plays Uro. Yep. I have nothing to say about that. You may draw a card. Now, if they want to, they're not going to be able to dig. And so this is one of the tensions in this deck, as well as it is in the blue-green rec deck, is that playing Uro and Dig Through Time is a little demanding on your graveyard as a resource. And if you're not playing anything that, like Satyr Wayfinder or such, that actively dump cards into your graveyard, then you definitely are going to be squeezed. Absorb. Yes, please. I don't want this here, though. That was because of the wolf in the last game. Draw a card. Yeah, I have my land drop, so everything's good. And then we can also... We could play... or we could cycle Charm and Dig Through Time, or we can play Absorb and Dig Through Time. So... we are good here. Go, little shark. Get him. Play Uro. Do it now. Actually, this is great. I'm okay with this. What if we didn't? I need double blue. So blue and wait, there we go. I got double blue. Double blue and 1 for my Dig Through Time. Okay. Here's where we find out if we just get got by, like, I don't know, 4-drop Jace. There is a 4-drop Jace in this format for anyone who does not know, but it's not a very impressive card. It's okay. There's multiple 4-drop Jaces. I'm talking about the one that doesn't have a win the game clause. Dovin's Veto. Yes, please. Absorb or land? I already have... Yeah, I think I'm just taking the land, honestly. I do just want to keep developing my mana. I wonder if they have Shark for 2, but I have Azorius Charm, so I can beat the Shark. Don't you know you gotta beat the Shark, yeah. All right. Do I want to hold on to Elspeth Conquers Death being bounceable? I don't think so. Okay. Censor is fine. You can also start pooping out humans. Just bonk. I want to use the more expensive spell. Yeah, I can't Ardenvale this turn anyway. And here's going to be their... Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was going to be their Time Raveler, but nope. Looks like we've caught up and are pulling ahead nicely. I think I should save the field for some kind of like actual utility land versus like just these. Like if they're playing a Castle Ardenvale or something like that anywhere in their deck. I'm just sort of in a spot where I'm wondering what of my threat package is what they're not playing. I assume it's Shark Typhoon, although I don't know why you wouldn't be playing Shark Typhoon with in your Uro deck, other than the fact that they're just both the same kind of card that ends the game, while being sort of incidental card advantage. So, cycle. Yep. So there's a good chance they're going to be able to get their Uro out this turn, but we've got Absorb ready to go. So. Hardcast takes your time. So I'm going to veto this because I want to have Absorb for an Uro. So even though Absorb is more expensive and thus awkward to cast sometimes, I have a very specific reason to keep it right now. And we basically have enough mana to do most of the things we could draw and still have Absorb up, so it's probably fine. Not hitting one of our Hero of Dominarias yet is not the best, but I will take it. I guess I could let the Uros resolve and just have an excuse to cast Elspeth Conquers Death. Lets them draw a card, but I'm not super concerned about it. Verdict. Oh, okay. There's a dead card in their hand anyway, so it doesn't. They're definitely happy to get that unloaded. This deck looks friggin' sweet, so many things. I agree. I mean, it's cool. Canister makes sweet decks. I could just verdict it. My Elspeth Conquers Death isn't even getting a Planeswalker back right now, so I don't know that I should. Let's draw a card here first. Yeah, we'll Elspeth Conquers Death this. Feels good too. There's a good draw. Oh, I should have made a human token. It's all right. Bye, buddy. Gone forever. Bant ramp, boo. It's not Bant ramp. They're definitely more on Bant control. Because, like, they're not, I don't think they're playing any Nissas, and they're not, I haven't seen any Growth Spirals, anything of that nature. But I understand the distinction is very, perhaps, I don't know, pointless. I don't know what you want to call it. But, definitely Bant broken cards is what they're on. Another Uro. Yeah, well. One good Uro deserves another, I suppose. But we could just Teferi bounce our own Elspeth Conquers Death. So, like, if we didn't have a second one, which we do. I'm going to Castle Vantress on this end step because I'm interested in finding Dig Through Time, Big Teferi, number of fairly specific cards. Brazen Borrower would be pretty good. Not those. Those are definitely not cards I wanted. Could upkeep Castle Vantress, but I did not. Censor is going to get us a card deeper anyway. Fuel a Dig Through Time. Dig. Oh, there we go. Never mind. You're better than Dig Through Time. You're what I really wanted. You're the one that I want. The one that I want. Woo woo woo, honey. Okay, do that. Let's do this. Makes the number of cards in my hand look very impressive. We have one counter right now. And I actually assume that I'm through most of my counters. I think I have the one cycling one. I think that's still in the deck right now, but most of my counters have been burned through. So if they want to punch through, now is the time. Yeah, we still have the cycling one and 2 more absorbs. 1 more absorb in the deck. Oh no. Oh, it's a turn where no. All right. And that can actually punch down my good Teferi. Yeah, this is going to hurt. I have no way to draw an extra card right now. Well, you win some, you lose some. Now, which one are they going to take out? Big Teferi or Little Teferi? They take out Little Teferi, so they must have counter magic in their hand that has just been stuck for a while. That is actually kind of works out for me, though, because I just get to Verdict this. And then my Elspeth Conquers Death now has a Planeswalker to get back. I think it also means... Do I have more Teferis in my deck? I have 2 more Little Teferis in my deck. I have barely drawn any of them. Is this Uro? I think Uro's fine. Yep. The shock. Fair enough. Please play another creature. Time Raveler. Please no. Don't do to me as I did to you. That would be incredibly rude. Do they have another one? No, they don't. It's been a nice game actually. Supreme Verdict. Maybe could have Vantress there, I suppose. I think we can Vantress and Ardenvale at the end of the next turn, though, which ain't not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we can. Excellent. This is a slog? Yeah, man, this is... That blue-white control mirror life. Alright, are they going to tuck my Teferi here? Okay. So this is fine for a number of reasons. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but this is definitely like, it's not a disaster at all. Because we just pop Veto 1/1 to attack it down, and even if they have a way to stop that, we have an Elspeth Conquers Death. Remember the token. I remember the token. I mean, I could put in 2, but I also want to scry because I've got more Dig Through Times in my deck that I could be hitting. Jeez. Bottom. This Field of Ruin is off limits right now because, like, oh right, yeah, that is how that works. Bonk. Yep. Well done. Well done, little token. I'll go the counter, huh? Yeah, that's fine. So I think I'm gonna play out my Elspeth Conqueror's Death here, and the reason I'm doing this is they knew I had one of these in my hand. And it looks like what I'm doing is just trying to get to my Teferi. They have a counter right now, they can play it, that's fine. They also have an Uro in their graveyard, so yeah, perfect. So they're gonna get their Uro out next turn, assuming that they've dealt with my Elspeth Conqueror's Death, and then I have another Elspeth Conqueror's Death. They're on 3 Uros in their main deck at least. And even if they have an out for the Elspeth Conqueror's Death, I've got a verdict. Got him. Get out of here, nerd. Uro's a 6/6, so clearly super jacked, goes to the gym, but he draws cards, you know? He's also studious, and Elspeth does not approve. Mono white planeswalker, not about that life. Just not a friend to the nerd. And they scoop. That was a game. That was a game Magic the Gathering right there. Jeez. Slog is a good definition of what that was. All right, so Dream Trawler seems great. I want to go down on verdicts. I don't know if I want to go fully down on verdicts, but I definitely want to go down on verdicts. Narset is great here. Mystical Dispute is fine. Soul Guide Lantern's good. Veto's okay, but I guess Censor is actually pretty bad. But again, Azorius Charm is, I think, by far the worst card. Alright, am I missing anything that I... No. I think we do want Dream Trawler, though. Just because they're stretching their interaction and removal and stuff feels like a good idea. We've already pulled down nicely with Mystical Disputes and such. I don't really know what this is for in the sideboard, other than like Ulamog decks. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Nope. That's not good enough. This is not great, but it has some of the things we need. So Elspeth Conqueror's Death is going to eat it. And here we go. They love the main phase snap off their Fabled Passage. They've done it both games. It's not really the margin for how it improves your game in any way is basically nil. So I don't know. It's just always I get a kick out of certain play patterns. Sometimes they're very irritating. Sometimes they're just funny. All right, are we gonna do the same dance as last game? Because that was funny as hell. Just the turn 2 plays Teferi, other player also plays Teferi, and it's just like. This goofy ass slog. Shark for 1? Looks like. Yeah, sure. So we're taking the opposite. Got it. Narset. Yeah, sure. So what I'm hoping they do is they down-tick the Narset, they attack with the Shark. Because they know I could make a 1/1 Shark, or they may assume that I will make a 1/1 Shark, but they might think that this attack is inconsequential, not thinking that I have a card like Brazen Borrower. They did not. Well, shoot. Let's play Brazen Borrower. Because what we do have is we have Brazen Borrower into Teferi. So the only way that this goes sideways is if they have Mystical Dispute, and they didn't shock this turn, so we don't know that they don't have it. If we draw Mystical Dispute, it gets really good for us. We did not. All right, so my Teferi bounce won't draw me a card, but it's probably okay, especially if Teferi's on the board. Mystical Dispute. If you have it, yeah, shit. They read the game really well. Okay, this one might be a lot quicker than the last one. Yeah, this game is going to be a lot quicker than the last one, I think. We're just going to get buried, like, now, if they have big Teferi or something similar. And they put something relevant in their hand. Yeah, I think we'll just move on from here. I don't need to play this game out any further. It's definitely like a premature concession, but I just want more time for game 3 if it's going to go anything like game 1 did. I just don't think we have the tools to play through this like they did last game. Just kept bringing back the Uro over and over and over again. Yeah, our boarding is fine. We just need to draw more of our early game interaction. This is one of those matchups where it's like I do and don't want a card like Spell Pierce in my sideboard. I guess Mystical Dispute is that card. I just wish I had more of them. Opponent is tanking it up on their game 3 sideboarding. There we go. I like to play first. Yes, please. Would I like to play first with this hand? Not particularly, but sure. If I don't get a plains, this comes into play tapped. My mana is super awkward this game, huh? I need the double blue. But I'm on the play, so I could get it next turn. How old am I? How old do you think I am, Speeve? Alright, where are we at? What are we doing? Those are acceptable guesses. I'm 30, but I usually get pegged for younger than I am. All right, what are we doing here? We are playing. Damn, dude. Yeah, dude. What am I doing? This one. Looking good. Yeah, I've been in the best shape of my life for the last couple of years. The angle here is not particularly flattering, but up until I was like 20, I was like pretty overweight, and then I started running, and then the last 3-4 years I've gotten into going into the gym. So okay, that's a perfect draw. So yeah, everything's going good. I got some crinklies around the eyes, but you probably can't quite see them. But they're mostly laugh lines. I credit it to the fact that I am a very low stress, very high enjoyment person, high energy. So you know, I live reasonably hard, but 22 and trying to get healthier. It's just a journey, man. Just you know, you take it one day at a time. Don't rush it. Don't rush anything. Yeah. No, and like there'll be setbacks. There always are when you're trying to make changes in your life, but as long as it's a you know, an upward trajectory over the average, that's what matters. Like my third year in university, I definitely had like I just wasn't exercising as much. I was really stressed and all that stuff, and really stressed compared to how I normally am, and I definitely put on a little bit of weight, and then I just brought it back down. So okay, so it looks like we're building up to this dig through time, which is going to be nice. At the end of their next turn, we're just going to dump a 2/2 Shark into play, assuming that they don't do anything I need to deal with. Dovin's Veto is great in these kind of situations, because, yeah, so this could be Narset or Teferi with a Mystical Dispute. I can just veto it. I can let them grab one card off of this if I want, and just use my 2/2 Shark to knock down the other counter. I'm not planning on drawing an extra card on the next turn, so I think this is the right thing to do. We might get beat up for it. Yeah, so they just like got a second Narset, but we're just gonna knock this one down to 1 loyalty, and our Shark sticks around. So I don't feel pressured to play into their Mystical Dispute this game, so I'm not going to. And we've got Veto, we've got Ardenvale, so we've got all sorts of stuff going on for us. Dig Through Time also dodges Narset nicely, so 2 Hero of Dominarias in our hand is not the best, but yeah, so this is what this is for. And then an EOT I can Dig Through Time. If they have a counter for that, we might just get to slam our Teferi. So this feels pretty good. This is how you win this game, I think. This is how we do it. Yep. You got me. Hand in the cookie jar, you got me. Alright, let's draw a counter. That's not a counter. That is a Teferi, though. This is This is better than anything I could have drawn up. They are going to have a Narset. So we're going to attack this one down so I can use this Teferi to draw a card. The waitress I hadn't worked with yet last night that I was working with also pegged me as like 27, I think she said 27, 28, which yeah, I usually get younger than I am, which really surprised me. Like last week someone was like 30 and I was like, oh shit, yeah, well, you got it. But again, a youthful energy. Some might say childish or what have you. They opt. Good. This means there is no Teferi this turn. They bottomed. Good. Good, good. The less control my opponent has over what they're drawing, the better. Excellent. So I think at the end of this turn, we're going to cycle Shark Typhoon and make a 1/1. It's like being able to attack down their Narset and getting the card out of my Teferi feels pretty good. Like, I think just adding to the board with a 5-drop is just where I want to be right now. That is also a good draw. Get her, boys. Yes, perfect draw. Alright, looks like we got this one. So, game 1 was the one that really mattered, and then it looks like it just sort of broke one way and then it broke the other way in the last two. I think largely speaking, the only thing I need to care about here is if it's no, even little Teferi, like, I mostly don't care. I mean, yeah, I'm going to try to counter it because it turns off my counter, so, like, it kind of makes no sense not to try. But it can't interact with these guys. I have 2 sharks, so, like, I don't know what they can do, even if they resolve that. Glare of Heresy. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you got me. I'm not gonna recover from that one. Jesus. No, I'm just poking fun. Because they absolutely ruckused me in game 2 by having a very timely Mystic Dispute. Dig through time? Yeah, that's fine. The Teferi I'm gonna play is just gonna bury them. Little late, but having someone guess your age on the dot is impressive. Oh yeah, that's fine. It's 106 degrees there. Are you dead? Are you literally dead? I can't help you. I can suggest that you relocate to a cooler climate like Ontario, like the Niagara region of Ontario. Are you? Is this something you're interested in? Legally, it's not an option for you right now, but love to live in Canada. Yeah, it's a pretty good country. We got our shit together. In a way. I mean, we're not perfect, but I think I want to keep adding to my mana. Maybe that was better cycled. I don't know. Fortunately, I'm part of the plague-ridden American masses. Yep. That's definitely how it feels. I would like to end this game because I kind of want to go make a smoothie before I go to work. Speaking of which, this is going to be the last game I'm able to play. All right, so that's going to resolve. The question is, just like with the last one, what are you going to do with it? Okay. I'm going to get you. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I'm assuming they have a Shark Typhoon in their hand, which will effectively block. Yes, love that. Okay, let's go straight to combat. Soul Guide Lantern is a really good pickup too. It's going to cut off their ability to get me with a... No? Oh, great. Awesome. Love that. So just plus this. Don't have to mess with doing anything with the hero of Dominaria that I don't want to. We can dig through time at instant speed and cannot be interrupted now. So that's kind of great. So can't really see them getting through this, but still glad landed. Bloop. Right, play that. Do I want to cast Dream Trawler here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't. Do I want to make a token? No, I don't. I will untap this land and that land. That's right. I untapped your land. What are you going to do about it? Is it because you were born in the USA? Born in the USA. Oh. Life is so easy aside from a few dumb things. I mean, Canada's the same, dude. Largely speaking. And I assume England. All the English-speaking first world countries. Dream Trawler. Interesting. Oh, I probably should have responded. And dug for a counter. That's fine. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that is Verdict. That's exactly what I need. Do I want another dig through time? No, Veto seems good. Veto's good. Any order these? Don't need to pop out a token because I've already got, yeah. Honored. Yeah, I probably should be taking dig through times with my dig through times. My cousins live on the coast and it's wonderful. Oh yeah. Moving to Alaska. You'd have a great governor. Well, I assume you would. The previous one I knew anything about was very entertaining. Got him. That F6 value. Opponent getting got by their F6 value. Didn't get their Vantress off there. Make him a 1/1. Alright, here's my clock. Alright, little 1/1, you're on the clock. Jesus. Hand seems good. I don't know. Do we think we can win with this? I think maybe we can win with this. Not sure. I don't know. Let's put a Dream Trawler into play just for funsies. I mean, I boarded it in for a reason, I guess. So might as well use it. But this Teferi is going to emblem again. Teferi emblem is fun. No Jace the Mind Sculptor to go hyper savage mode with, but that's fine. There we go. All right. So nice 3-1. Punted against Jeskai Fires, and so I wasn't able to clean that up in game 2. Yep. That's what that matchup's about. That's why I scooped in game 2. So yeah, punted to Jeskai Fires. Everything else felt great. This is definitely one of my favorite decks in the format. That said, I do have to get out of here to head off to work. I don't think there's too much to say that I didn't say in the initial talk. I do wonder if 2 Settle the Wreckage in the main and the other 2 Verdicts in the side might be a good idea, and I feel like I want more Mystical Disputes because playing against Teferi with this deck is so brutal. Not that that necessarily fixes that situation, but that it is a way to help mitigate it. But I do like this main deck with some fun ofs. 25 lands definitely feels necessary. 3 dig through times is probably great. Only 2 Shark Typhoons I'm okay with. Only 2 Elspeth Conqueror's Death. That's like it's like the right number of all those things. So yeah, I like this deck too. I think a main deck Narset wouldn't go amiss, but I just don't know exactly what you'd sub in for it. And I never played a main deck Veto before. I always just played the 4 Censors instead. I mean, that's very marginal, but it can be very good. So worth considering. Anyway, I am out of here, so you guys have yourself a great afternoon, evening, night, morning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I will see